Do you ever have the urge to skip class?
Yes.
All the time. Okay, so I live far and getting here is rough, so some days I wake up and I'm like, dude, I'm so tired.
Every day. Every day.
I accidentally took 4 classes Tuesdays and Fridays, meaning I have 1 class Mondays and Thursdays and 4 classes Tuesdays and Fridays. So Tuesday my day starts at 9:05 and I get off at 6:30, and it just makes me want to stay in bed.
Do you like eating food on campus?
I mean, it's really good compared to the food in high school, so I can't complain.
Normally I'll go for like something quick between my classes. I'll grab some Chinese food. Sometimes if I'm getting dinner, I'll go to another place and I'll get something that takes a little longer to make so I can kind of sit down and really enjoy it. But as far as off-campus food goes, I like to eat pizza, staple of my diet. It's also really inexpensive, so that's really helpful.
I prefer not Monty's food.
Montegoras Hall.
I'm a senior and I've never been to Monty's. I don't actually know where that is on campus.
I mean, everybody has their own opinions of that. Sorry, Angela. But besides that, there's Regina's, Vincenzo's. There's a few Chinese places like Empire in Hong Kong, Ganda, Thai Taste, and even Double J's at 7-Eleven are just good for, if you want to grab something quick.
Most of the time, I just choose to eat at home to save money.
What organizations are you a part of?
I'm part of the Speech and Hearing Club, and I'm also part of the Odyssey video team.
I was a part of the Odyssey writing team, but now I am more affiliated with the Odyssey video team. And I'm also part of Irish Society Club.
I'm a part of OTB, Mixed Course, and Odyssey.
Do you have more commuter or resident friends?
I have no idea.
If you're a resident, you kind of just end up being around more residents. But the thing is about being a resident is that when you're on campus, you're more involved on campus. So you're able to go to different places like the Angela Center and Marillac Hall, where you can go and you can communicate with people that are commuters.
Definitely more commuter friends, but I think that's just because there are more commuters who go to St. John's, and that's who I come across.
I really didn't branch out my first semester. I only had one best friend who turned out not to be such a good friend, and I had to branch out socially, and in doing that I made a lot more commuter friends. And so while I am a resident student, I do spend a lot of my time at the dorms. Most of the time I'm with my commuter friends at the dorm.
What are your thoughts on public transportation and transportation to and from campus?
Well, I don't take public transportation to school, but I did try to do it once from my home in Brooklyn, and it was absolutely ridiculous. I live in South Brooklyn, and getting to school was crazy. I think it took me over 2 hours.
I think it takes about 2 hours at most with traffic if I'm coming from Staten Island to Queens.
Fortunately, I'm from Brooklyn, and the part of Brooklyn that I am in, South Brooklyn, there's no direct line of subway from Brooklyn to Queens. So if I were to take the subway and the bus, it would take me a solid 2.5 hours. So that's a little much, so I drive to school every day. Usually it takes me 25 to 30 minutes.
Some people do it, and I'm like, how do you do it? There's an exception, of course, with the shuttle bus that goes from the Staten Island campus to the Queens campus. But even then, it's an hour, and it's just like, it's a lot. And I feel for people that take that commute, and I feel for people that take a commute other than just from Staten Island. There's people from Jersey, Connecticut that do that, and it's just exhausting.
I don't have a car, and so I take the LIRR and the MTA, and both of them are terrible ways to get around. It takes me about 90 minutes to get to school.
How do you feel about class cancellations when the professor doesn't tell you beforehand? Like if you see it on the door, like if you walk in and...
So this has happened to me multiple times, and so like my classes are on like the 3rd floor of St. John's Hall, and you have to walk up, and by the time you're all the way up there, you're panting, and you just like don't want to go on with your life.
I think it's a lot easier on people who live here, but people who commute here and it's their first class of the day and they don't have class till way later in the day and they missed out on sleep time, I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Then you get to the door and you see the sign that your class is canceled, and you're like, I didn't have to walk up all of those stairs. Like, really?
I have to travel about an hour to get here, and then you're not going to have class. So what am I supposed to do? Just read a book?
What's one misconception you think people have about residents?
This is a loaded question.
Oh, you're rich, you got money.
You know, we're all rich and we can all afford to dorm and still like do other stuff. And no, it's not true. I am not rich. My family is not.
And everybody comes from a different background economically. So, you know, it's not true in a sense. It can be for certain people. But other people are literally getting here and getting by just like by financial aid and loans. Like that's a big thing too. It's like you can live here and whatever, but those loans add up.
I think one misconception people have about commuters is that we're not involved and that we don't care about what happens on campus. Meanwhile, I know so many commuters who do more than actual resident students, so I don't believe that.
That's not true. The reason why is honestly, no matter where you end up and whether you're living there or you're commuting there, you always need to be willing to kind of put yourself out there, to shake some hands, get involved in some organizations. I know in high school I went to a really, really tiny all-girls school, so I was always like super shy. I was really comfortable where I was always the last person to raise their hand and volunteer for things. But now I'm super outgoing. I'm in executive positions in two organizations. I'm a campus like tour guide, and I do lots of things now, and I'm more outgoing than I ever was. So I think commuting and kind of me definitely having to be a little more proactive with my social life, and maybe some resident students definitely actually help me have a more active social life.
One thing people might think about commuters that is false is that they don't know where anything is. Like, I don't know where anything is, but other people do, and I know it because I'll ask my other commuter friends where things are, and they're always able to tell me.
Well, I think one misconception they have is that we are very organized and we have all things together, but in reality we have no idea what we're doing, just like everybody else.